All right, happy weekend. I didn't post a video after work yesterday and after training because my family just got back, and obviously time with them is more important than time with you guys. Well, not always, but anyways, yeah. We had a couple of things off our watch list from Thursday night. One of them was CLNT. I believe there was news on it, but I didn't really care so much. I was just kind of looking at this move here that happened right at the end of the day on Thursday. Kind of sat dormant for a long time and then popped up here, made a big move into close, and then kind of sold off here into the after hours and came around. But then morning time popped back up, made a nice pre-market high, kind of popped off, but started making higher lows, higher lows. So I was watching it here out of the gate. It was kind of into the range, unaffordable range on my small account. So I'd set a couple lines up here for this pre-market high and this after hours high. Resistance kind of a 764 and 737. So I was kind of looking in the $half for entry, even 764. But I knew that I needed to be close to $7 for entry really to grab decent shares. So I did a quick math and I put in for 250 shares. And I'll show you guys down here. What happened is I actually got stuffed and it was failed. So I had 250 shares, buy stop limit at 755. My trigger was 752 and my limit was 755, and it failed. And it was brutal because I was like, okay, it failed. I'm going to quickly throw it down to 200 shares just to try and get in because it looked like it was going to move good. I saw the volume coming in right away. By the time I changed my order and opened it up, it was already in the 770s, so it was gone, and didn't feel like chasing. A couple of big pullbacks here on these 1 minute spikes, but they started to get slower and slower and slower, and then here we had a bit of the sell-off, bit of a pullback, and one last pop-up. So 755 I was looking to get in on was right here, the break of the $half. It ended up pulling back here down to 740 on this candle, and then popping up here into the next one for a high of 848. So there was a lot of movement here in this 2 minutes, a lot of opportunity to take some money, take some scalps, or 20 to 50 cent moves. But you know what? My order failed, and similar to the beginning of the week when I traded STDY and I missed out on that in the 905 entry, and then I chased it and I ended up having, I believe it was a $50 loss. It was more than that. It was a 60 odd, just almost $70 loss. So I learned my lesson. That's what you do. You have a bad trade and you learn a lesson. So I missed my entry. I would have had to go with a lower share size, continuously lower. So I just stopped and I watched it, and it bumped up here, and it did typical kind of NASDAQ play, and then sold off, and then it kind of made a nice ABCD pattern here, popped up, and then pulled a red to green and finished off with a high of 1070 before it kind of sold off and finished the day down back in the sixes. 660 is where it finished the day. So these are what these stocks do. They go up and they come down. It's nice actually on a stock like this. This offered a lot of plays throughout the day, right? And some shorts and stuff like that. So these are great stocks to watch, but it was just a little out of my price range for the size of my account. So I ended up going over to good old-fashioned JNUG. I believe Thursday night gold was doing decent. There was a gap up here. Pull in. Yeah, there was a morning gap up because gold must have done good. And pre-market kind of sold off. And I love JNUG. I really do. So I laid out some lines on it really quick. Some support and resistance levels that I was looking for a possible entry. I mean, by then, by the time I got over here, I think we were on this sell-off candle. And I've had good luck in the past with JNUG when it sells off really quickly, and I like to catch a bottom bounce. So sold off 1, 2, and then I saw a nice bit of buying pressure here, bounced off the $7.10 support line I'd put in, as well as the 200 EMA, which I think was sitting about 712 at the time. Yeah, 711, 712. I saw this red candle come down. I thought, oh, okay, there might be some continuation into the downtrend. But then I saw this nice push up, and buyers bought it back up, closed over top of the 200 EMA. So I got long on this candle at 714 with 250 shares. Popped up here, made a little move. And I mean, this was a slow trade. It was thickly loaded on both sides in the bid and the ask. and there was just kind of a battle going on, but it seems that the bulls and the buyers were winning the battle on every candle. And then here we printed a higher low on this one, and obviously it pulled on the wick at least, and then it pulled back up and closed way up here, and then higher low, got into these moving averages, and I dumped her on this candle at 722. So it was a little trade, $20, but you know what? It was a green trade, and it was a nice way to end the week. So I wish it was more, but this thing came up, hit my resistance, came back down here, hit a support line, the previous resistance that it had broken out of. Almost did a red to green, but it couldn't. It was about to, but of course there was some emotional hesitation. Tried again, which is a failed attempt, and then of course this is what happens, right? When we start to get these kind of triple tops, and that's it. We sold off, and you can see that it broke down this support line, and as soon as it did that, it kind of came in here to this magnet price of 710, hovered around it, and then as soon as it broke off, it was gone and sold down. Closed the day at 674 with a low of 649. So JNUG always offers good plays. I've only shorted it once, but the short filled right away. Questrade likes to do a market review risk review at times, and that can slow your short down. So I have tried that on a few other stocks, and hasn't worked out for me that well. So JNUG for me is a fan favorite. There's the trade I made on it, in at 714, out at 722, for a nice little $20 win. So ended up end of the day, end of the week, $930.55 on my small account. And yeah, some good lessons, made some good watch lists with Jordan. Really had a good time in the market. Didn't trade a lot, but you know what? It's not about trading every day. It will be. Obviously, as my accuracy and my skill just keeps getting better and better, and that's what I'm striving towards, and that's what I'm working towards. It's not about, it's not a race to the finish line. It's about building consistency and accuracy and discipline throughout this journey to profitability, really. So, in other news, the MJ sector was unreal. Everybody I know in our chat group, made money. I didn't, because I didn't trade it. I did some trades earlier in the week when we started to see these kind of curl ups. I made some trades on IMH, EMH, and then I've got a position in RVV, which was nice to see it start to move back to where I was in at. Those were swings. Those are also back from a little bit when I, in my less experienced days. So yeah, the curl up on APH here looking really good, but obviously we're getting overextended on the daily, and we're coming into news next week. You know the story, sell the news, buy the fear. So I will be looking for entry on any sort of pullback here. I'm not going to try and predict what it'll be, but I'm going to keep an eye out for it, because anytime we've seen big overextensions here, we see some sort of pullback, some sort of correction, and consolidation before we decide to make another move. We're also coming into the whole dollar, and this thing has made a serious move here from kind of 650 upwards. And last time we came into the whole dollar was the $7 mark. We tested it twice, and then we had these kind of big Sean Spicer comments. I believe there was some other impacting news that kind of created a bit of emotion in the market in the MJ sector. We came down here, and then we started to move back up. This is when they made that announcement about the news that's going to come here on next week. I believe this was the Sunday. This was this gap up, and then we have this. I mean, this is a beautiful curl up. I've got a theory going right now between APH and weed, and what we're going to see, maybe some sort of divine shift between the two of them in the future. But again, just a theory, not really basing any trades off it, just watching these stocks for right now. I might take a position on APH if I see a decent pullback. So we'll flip over to weed really quick and just show you kind of comparison of what it's been doing relative to what APH is doing. So completely different looking chart. We saw some big movements here which matched APH, but ever since we've really just seen big sell-offs. So another big move was EMH, Emerald Health, which I've been in and out of for about the last month, just little scalps and stuff like that. So again, getting some gap ups, some overextension. Obviously started with the curl off of the moving averages, and now we're really starting to move up and hike up towards that whole dollar. and we're also coming into a year high. So two things to watch out for, I would say. Year high and the whole dollar resistance levels are always tough little battles. We're actually sitting at a prior resistance, just popped over it here from the November 16th spikes. So yeah, that's what I got for MJ Sector, our watch list, and my trade. Obviously, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, like or subscribe to my channel. That'd be great. And yeah, me and Jordan are going to be putting together a watch list Sunday night. We'll post it on Twitter, and we'll try and do a couple more videos and get a watch list recap going and posting it into a playlist on YouTube. So hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, because I know I will. And we'll see you Monday when we get back to trading. All right, bye.